York to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
It's Ebro in the Morning. Laura Stiles, Rosenberg. Division's on the program. Give it up, Division. 1985 and Mr. Daniel Daly. Sir.
Why'd you say it like that?
Yeah.
Why did he say it like that?
Well, because you're the lean into the mic. You're the lead singer of Division.
That's correct. I'm the singer. This is the producer.
That's right. So all of the conversation goes your direction. They don't come from 1985.
Yeah, he gets a little bit.
He
of
gets
easier,
just chill in the back.
a little bit of it
So I had
easier.
to start the interview this way because this new album.
Right.
What's the title again?
Working on my karma.
Yeah, Working on My Karma. I see a lot of talk about you, sir, because they think that what we're hearing on this album is you.
Well, they're hearing me on this album.
But are they hearing, is this all you, or are you starting conversation? Have you written songs and participating in writing songs to just start convo, or is there a lot of your own feelings and experiences in these songs?
Yeah, I always put my feelings and experiences in records. But with that said, we do have a way of knowing how to word things as writers and as, creators. We know how to word things in a way to create a conversation if that's what we're trying to do.
Right. Do you like the conversation that has started around this album?
Around now I do.
Yes, because now they're
The
getting
single.
the,
What do you mean
now-
the single? But
If you're talking about the first single that we dropped, which is, If I Get Caught, the beginning part of it was a little bit rough. But like we said, we kind of knew that was going to happen. We had that record probably for about, I'd say 5 months, 6 months before we put it out. So we were sitting there in Jermaine Dupri's studio just playing it for groups of people, playing a bunch of songs, but playing that song as well for groups of people that would come in there. And no matter what records we were playing, as soon as we played that one, the whole room would burst into argument and conversation. We'd come back and literally like half an hour, 45 minutes, the room is still going about their thoughts on this.
And tell me again, how's the hook go? I would love to hear it.
It's if I get caught cheating,
Yes.
that don't mean I don't love you.
And this is a true statement.
It's a very true statement. It's a very true statement. When we get to the root of like why people cheat, a lot of times when you get to it, it's like it's more of an ego thing than it is about whether
Especially for men.
especially for men,
yeah.
that woke up and said, "Oh, I don't love my girl anymore. Let me go cheat." That's not the wiring that's going on there. And so it's something that allows a conversation where people can finally start to look in the mirror and address things, whether it's their double standards, whether it's their hypocrisies, whether it's just how they feel on relationships and where they want their relationships to stand and things that they'll accept and things that they won't accept. When I was writing the verses, because the hook was actually written by Jermaine Dupri. Let's throw that out. Let me give him a little bit. No, it's important though, because I wrote the verses, and when I was writing the verses, I wasn't thinking about a guy that was cheating. I was thinking about a person that's dealing in a relationship with someone that thinks they are, and now I'm dealing with these insecurities. That's why I said, I'm a fly nigga when you got here and charismatic when you got here, all that stuff like that is because I'm saying, I was fly when you got here. Now it's, where are you getting dressed up to go? I was charismatic when you got here. Now it's, you're so friendly. You're always talking to people. The things that you loved in the beginning are now turning into your insecurities. That's what the song is about.
That's right.
that's very interesting to note, though. So then the chorus, JD being the great writer that he is, he's like, this could work for this, and this is trolly, and this is interesting, and this is fun.
Did you have to be convinced? I wish I could take that. I wish I could take that out, but he wrote the hook first.
Wrote it first.
We walked in the studio.
Got it. Okay.
And he's humming this hook, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what did you just say?" And he's like, "If I get caught cheating, that don't mean I don't love you." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "That's exactly what I want to say." Because it's perfect. Because it's like, it's something that where people have really felt. You sit there, you talk to men, you talk to women, you talk to just people. You get such different perspectives on why they do. A lot of times you hear women say, "Oh, we only did it when something was lacking. There was some emotional issue. There was something that wasn't there. He cheated first." Something. Right? You always get different things.
We hadn't slept together in a long time.
Yeah. And sometimes you hear girls that are like, "Yo, I wanted to. I just wanted to do this. I don't know. you know?
Yeah, but they usually make it sound much better than the way we make it sound.
Right. But anyways,
No,
I'll let you keep going.
but I'm glad we're starting the conversation here because the album delves into like it says karma.
Yeah.
And the repercussions of your actions, right? The energy you're putting out and what's coming back to you. Right. What took you guys in 1985, you making the soundscape for, I mean, we'll get into your resume if the audience doesn't know, but you guys have worked together as producer-songwriter, not only on Division stuff, but many other things. But when you're making a soundscape for this, is he writing first and then you're coming with the sounds, or is it happening at the same time?
It's a bit of both. I think we've always gone off the inspiration. So he might come and be like, yo, I got this lyric that I really need to turn into a full record, or I need to get this idea across. And I'll be, all right, cool. Let me go through some ideas. Let me see if I have a beat that works. Let me see if there's a little, was there a piece of something that I played before that you liked that I can turn into more of a record? Or I'll just have something and you'll be like, all right, give me a couple days with this, or just pull it up in the studio. Let me just like try to get into it. But I don't think there's a set process for us. We kind of just go with whatever, as we're talking about the Jermaine record. Jermaine might have an idea, or there might be some little conversation that sparks. Like, for instance, the whole album, I think a lot of it was based on our conversations and where we were at with our relationships or our situations going into making the album. So it wasn't necessarily intentional, but it was more just like that's where we were at. And in that space, we just keep building until it became clear where we were going to take it.
So, Daniel, you telling me you wasn't on some, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you've been a heartbreaker for a long time.
What?
Is that true?
No. Where did we get this information? Is that on Google?
But as a songwriter, like if you go through your songs, I mean, you've had your heart broken too in the songs.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you've unpacked relationships and your own, I'm assuming, some in a lot of songs over the years.
And you know what? That's actually the crazy part about the reactions to the album and that song that is interesting to me, because all we're doing right now is narrating what's happening outside, because we're living it. This is, unfortunately, a lot of the relationship experiences that people in our generation are going through. You know what I mean? And it's funny to me that people are like, oh, we want these kinds of songs or songs like this. And it's like, how much of that do you see in your actual real life nowadays?
No, people want to be lied to.
Yeah.
And they want to lie.
Yeah, and that's not what we're here to do right now.
Right.
Because I feel like for us to progress, we have to address.
You hear that?
It's part of the healing.
You know what I mean?
Circle.
We have to if we're going to get better, we're going to have to start taking a long look in the mirror and addressing what we're really out here doing right now. What's going on? I'm not saying I love all this. I'm not saying I like all this.
But it's real.
This is real. So, I'd rather people be able to say at the end of the day, yo, Division's the realest. Like, Division is keeping it an actual buck, than be like, oh, Division just sings these beautiful love songs about
but have you
running
been in a
slow
relationship where you had a beautiful time, where you can write a healthy song about,
Of course.
He's
I've written
songs,
plenty of that. And that's the part, is like,
the negativity always outweighs the positivity.
yeah, like the one time we talk about something like that
It's
is
your
the
whole
time
catalog.
it's the whole time.
Oh, the
It's the
cheating
one
guys.
time that we wake up and we're the number one trending thing in America,
Which
right?
is great.
Which works, but it's
But
like we've been
if-
giving you love songs, sex songs, makeup songs, relationships, all for.
I
at
literally
least-
saw people say, and I'm sure you saw this too on social media,
that?
where it was like, fuck Division.
Oh, 100%. I was like, oh my God, he wants to die now. I was like, guys, it's me.
And I knew when he came in today, if I hit him with the like blaming him for the song and the album, he would be defensive
Because of the way people came at them.
Well, no, only because A, the way people came at him, but B, that's this. If you've spent any time with Division before this isn't. They've talked about relationships in so many ways. So many ways. And it's just funny because now there's people who literally only know them
Right.
for
As
the
the cheating guys.
controversial moment.
For sure. The cheating
The
guys.
cheaters.
Oh, those guys.
The cheat.
Oh, yeah, I love the
We're not
cheaters.
cheaters. We're not cheaters.
Yeah, the ones who
And
love
even
cheating.
on the album, it takes you through. That's the other part that I don't want to get lost here, is that the album is in story form. So
The
it
next
takes you
song
through.
after that
it's called Stay Faithful.
Stay Faithful.
right? And it's somebody
but
said the
see,
hook
you're
is I
letting
should
the
have
truth get in
stayed.
the way of a good story. You guys
Are cheaters.
Yeah, the cheaters.
Yeah. Nah, it's dope now because the reactions and the love. I mean, the love that we've gotten from the album over the past couple days. I think it's still #1 on Apple Music and all stuff like that, or #1 R&B.
Yeah.
And people really being like, wow, this is really feels like R&B. Felt like they really brought R&B back, but it's like talking like today, which was the whole.
Well, I love that you brought this up because that's exactly where I wanted to go. Okay. You guys are working with and surround yourself with some of the legends of writing the greatest R&B songs that we've known in the last 25 years, 30 years.
Absolutely.
Brian Alexander Morgan, Brian Michael Cox, Jermaine Dupri. Who else was Jonte? Did you guys work with Jonte on this? Jonte Austin.
Jonte, actually, you know what? The record that we did with Jonte, it's still in the vault. Actually, we might put it on
deluxe or something.
Yeah. It's dope. It's really dope.
Of course it is. It's Jonte
really dope.
Austin.
But Sean Garrett.
Sean Garrett.
Yeah, we were in there trying to cook up something that people are going to be able to sit with for the next.
So, and you know my friend Brian Morgan, who I got to learn next to as he wrote SWV's first album, and I got to watch the process.
You were around for that?
Yeah, I was 14, 16 years old at that time.
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
And so when I hear a lot of records right now, people have great ideas, right? And they have great singing ability, and they even have great writing ability. But can you talk about the kind of formatting and the kind of the way you guys went about putting this album together to make it so easily accessible, right? Because even if you're a passive R&B fan, you put this on, you're like, yo, these sound fucking great. Like, they just sound good. They're easy to follow, right? Hook, the verses. Yo, y'all are using, there's bridges. Yeah. You guys used a bridge on this album.
Yeah.
There's B sections, like the section before the verse, where there's a familiar section comes back around before the hook. Like, these are things that.
That's called a pre-hook, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. Sorry, I used B section. Sorry.
That's good.
But these are things that people just don't do anymore.
I think
feel.
SoundCloud, YouTube, all of the things that made music more accessible also made the format of things a lot looser. So we hit a space within the last 5 to 10 years where the vibe kind of took over R&B, and I think we're also a huge part of that too, because we really came out through the SoundCloud era. 100%. But what ended up happening is the listener and the artist got used to things being so chill, so much about
it's all
just
the vibe.
like. Yeah.
It's all the wave.
Yeah.
But it don't ever actually climax or go anywhere.
100%.
It's just.
And that's what we tried to reset with
so
this album.
You lose the intention of here's the hook. This is the big chorus. This is where you say the part that everybody has to like walk away and keep singing that, because everybody now is just like, some of these songs are like 1:30, 1:45.
There's people who will
verse.
tell me like, yo, my favorite artist is blank. I don't put no names out and turn this into a whole thing. And I'll be like, yo, I like them too. Tell me some of your favorite lyrics or songs. They don't remember them.
Nah,
They can't recite them.
it's just vibes. It's
Well,
just,
and one of the reasons I'm so passionate and have been passionate throughout the years of being hard on rappers and being hard on music is because I know that if hip hop and R&B goes the way of one-hit wonders and faceless artists and songs that aren't bona fide timeless smashes, we lose the genre.
sure.
It's gone.
Right, they become pop art. It just becomes pop records.
It just becomes mishmash doesn't
it becomes
have a
disposable, and then everyone treats you that way. The labels will treat you that way. Your career treats you, because they'll be like, oh, this guy's got 6 months before we move on to the next one. Move on to the next thing.
Right.
100%. That is. This is actually some of the deeper psychology that we kind of used with this album. We said, no, we're gonna reset this, because we're kind of partly to blame. We came in, doing the wavy stuff. I mean, we always made a point of like, okay, but I'm gonna really sing, and you know, he's gonna make sure that the beats are actually like the really still musical, but it was still super like, you know, vibey,
Moody, wavy.
You were playing with
vibey,
what the
wavy.
current feel was.
Yeah, we helped create that feel, and you know, 2016, 2017, that SoundCloud era. But we wanted to make a point of being like, okay, no, we're gonna like help reset this genre and bring forth, you know, at least a new direction for us to follow if we decide to, if people want to follow that, because there's
But
a
you're
way
gonna put an offering up to say, hey,
we can do it like this. I can still be just we're. I don't know if it would work from some of the artists from previous
That's right.
generations, right? So
because it would just be
it would just be
positioned as old. That's
that's
that old
older
shit.
older
Yeah.
stuff. So because we're still from this generation and still, you know, the movers and shakers. We're like, let's go in, let's still talk like us now, how we move and our thoughts and our feelings now, but let's actually add in the type of things that made music like really last forever.
Well, timeless, right?
Timeless,
Classic.
right.
So, did you guys notice something about the recall or what's the word I'm looking for? Rememberability? Is that even a word?
No.
It's not. It sounded like, did you guys notice something? Did you notice that there was a disposable nature to a lot of
Yeah.
records? Did you notice that things weren't like sticking the same way that, you know, and I bring up SWV again, like a Right Here and an I'm So Into You and You're Always on My Mind and Rain, and did you guys notice that?
For sure. I think that's where the R&B is dead conversation keeps coming back up from. It's not that R&B is dead, it's that the songs don't last beyond that moment. Where you can remember a Jagged Edge record, you can remember an Usher record, you can remember a Mariah Carey record. You can't really tell me what's the biggest R&B song of 2018. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, what's the biggest R&B song of this year currently? A lot of people wouldn't have like
There'd be a
one
whole bunch of different
specific,
answers.
one
Because
specific
just
answer.
whatever personally they like, right?
It's all a vibe.
It's all
It's all a
just
wave.
vibe.
Yeah,
It's all
everybody
vibe.
picks a different thing. Where before it didn't matter if you picked a different thing. You're like, no. In 2003, Usher was that guy, or you know, like it was so
Well,
specific
in some ways, like I know 20. What are we in? 22, 21. That WizKid Essence record.
But that's not R&B. Afrobeat is killing, obviously. We
But it
know
has
all that.
R&B elements to
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right?
Right.
They're still singing. They're still, but it's they have their own vibe, their own community, their own whole thing, which is beautiful. Shout out to all those guys.
But no, it's not
it's
R&B.
it's not like R&B, right?
And for the record, I do remember we glorify the time, the 90s into the early 2000s. I remember people complaining then this isn't real R&B.
Well, because of the hip hop samples.
The hip hop
and
samples, what the vulgar content,
Right,
a lot of
the
it was like,
R&B
this isn't
singers
R&B.
started singing about rap.
Yeah.
Almost singing like they was talking about rap shit.
It's crazy. I remember hearing a song. Who was it? It might be Barris Hammond. Was it a reggae song or it was a soul song? One of the two. But the guy it was definitely from like the 70s, and the guy's singing about, oh man, I remember when music was good, and I'm like, wow, they've been saying this.
They've been saying it forever.
Forever.
Barris?
Like, yo, this is crazy.
They've been saying that forever
It
in every
was-
genre.
It's crazy, but I do believe that where we are right now, we needed
A reset.
something. You know, we needed
Shock
something.
the system.
New conversation.
New conversations, new vibes, new environments, textures, just a new approach
Well,
to
I
it.
mean, also you can argue like the R&B world, the landscape's interesting because you've had Chris Brown at the top of it for so long, right? And he's a brilliant talent, but also he's had so many songs. But I've always said this: he hasn't had the quintessential. I'm not going to expect you guys to speak on this, but the quintessential album that's like, this is it. This defines what R&B is.
Right, he's got tons and tons.
He's
and
the
tons of hits.
name and the voice, and then the other biggest voice in R&B, truly, is Drake, who's not an R&B artist. So it's kind of a, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to talk about classic R&B? Hold On, We're Going Home is one of the most classic R&B songs of the last 20 years.
Thank you.
It's not really good work. It's not an R&B song. I mean,
like
it's
that,
technically it would end up on a rap playlist.
Yeah.
And it's not a rap record.
Right.
So it is. It's
And there is
confusing.
that, and because of the wave and the vibe and the mood, that mishmash of like, what is hip hop? What is R&B?
Yeah, that's another thing that happens. The rappers started singing, and the singers started sounding more like rappers.
That's right.
You ever call Drake and just be like, yo, fam, let's fall back on all the singing. We got this.
But and so I actually was, somebody asked me once, like, what do you think happened? And I was like, the energy, the melody, the storytelling that you wanted from R&B, rappers started giving you melody without good singing. They started giving you a vibe, you know what I'm saying, that felt emotional, right? Because you have a lot of rappers who are auto-tuning, talking about the pain they're going through, talking about their addiction, talking about heartbreak, talking about all of these things. Is it R&B? No. But is it melodic enough to give me the mood that I was looking for that maybe R&B isn't giving me?
Right.
Yeah.
Or I haven't found, or isn't, you know,
Or it's
as
taking away
popular.
the desire for it just because you feel like you're already being satisfied.
You're already
in some
kind of
way.
getting it.
Yeah.
Because all the rap
and you're
is
getting it in a
sing-song.
way that you can, you know, with women, it's like you're getting it in a way that you can still hear in a club, a way you can you can twerk to, you can still have fun to, you can turn up to.
Well,
you
and
can
the
drink
singing's
to, you
not
can-
good, right? I always had this philosophy about terrible singing on like pop songs, that it makes the audience feel like they can sing along.
Absolutely.
100%.
And so when a rapper's doing their terrible singing shit,
We're in the DIY era right now.
Right.
It's
I feel like I
yourself.
can
So
do
as
it
long
too
as-
then.
Yeah, if I can join along.
And
then-
the excuse is, well, I'm not a singer, I'm
yeah.
just singing.
I don't
So-
and you'd be like, yo, but you're raps. Well, I'm not a rapper, I'm an artist.
I don't know if like the Whitney Houstons and stuff like that.
You can't fuck around. No one can fuck around and pretend they're Maxwell singing this woman's work. Like that. You know what I mean?
Well,
That's
yeah. Oh, you mean
it's
like
too
fans.
good.
Yeah,
it's too
yeah,
good.
Right,
It's
exactly.
so it is
Yeah.
relatable when the singing's average.
When the singing's in a and that's the part of the beauty of even what you just said with Drake is Drake has a way of putting all of his melodies in a space where it's like everybody can just
Everybody's
join along,
involved.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what helps. I think makes even those records even just feel like this is like for the world.
That's
Like,
right.
We can all sing.
But Drake separates himself from others because he has a nice voice. You know what I mean? He didn't just start singing for the sake of singing and being like, I'm not gonna.
for sure,
he can
yeah.
actually carry a tune and
Well,
sing.
and then he's got an intangible that goes, and this is, I'm sure, you as a producer and you as a songwriter and even a singer, artists that are great, including Drake, have an intangible that when they go in to record, you feel the emotion in the recording. And there's a lot of artists out here who are just average and they're wondering why. It's because the actual recorded material doesn't
evoke anything out of you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that is something I'm sure that when you guys go to produce other people, that's probably one of the things that you guys push people for. That's why Dre will be fucking around. Dr. Dre will fuck around and make you record it 50 times. Because he's like, I'm going to get some emotion out your ass. You're going to be angry when you record this shit.
What, Mr. 85, you said thank you when I said, hold on, we're going home. So what exactly did you do on that record?
I produced that record.
Produced it.
Magic Jordan.
That's it's pretty good stuff, man. I played a wedding. I played a wedding a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't DJ'd out in a long time. But it was like a listener, and they asked me to do it, and I did it. And when I got to the recent music set, and I blended in, hold on, we're going home. Oh, I was like, fuck, this is a classic. And in fact, when we were talking about what Drake's classics are, that is going to end up in the conversation of his most classic records. It feels
I think so,
eternal.
too. I think so too.
Like,
Absolutely.
Best I Ever Had feels dated. That feels 15 years ago. Hold on, we're going home.
No.
That's
Forever.
a forever.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a forever joint. So
I remember
good work.
my first time hearing it because he was already working with Drake and OVO before I even got into.
And you guys are from
getting it.
Toronto?
Yeah, we're from Toronto. But I remember being invited to the studio with 40 and them playing. They're like, "Yo, your boy, 85, man, he got one." And I was like, and he played it, and I was literally on first listen. I was like, "This is gonna be the biggest song in the world." Like on first.
What was the
Listen,
take me through
it's
the
crazy.
drums? Because the drums are so interesting on Hold On, We're Going
It's
Home.
crazy because that version of the song started off as like a house remix. So it was at like 124 BPM. And I was like, yo, if we slow this down to like our tempo, I was like, it's gonna go crazy. So when we slowed it down, I was like, oh, these drums don't sound like anything because it wasn't meant to be at that tempo. It was meant to be like. So
So if you speed it up to 124, the drums sound a little
It's like
bit
a-
more familiar.
It's like a house record, yeah.
Right.
It's a disco record.
Because slowed down, it sounds
Yeah.
totally unique.
Yeah. And that's what made it so unique is because it wasn't meant to be at that tempo. It
Wow.
was meant to be something way more energetic. But when you slow it down, it gives a whole new feel and texture.
What's it at? It's
100, I think.
Yeah,
It's 100,
It's
yeah,
not
it's
that
100,
fast.
yeah.
It's
So
But there's
yeah,
I mean, now the other part. There's a lot of R&B right now that is around that 100. There's a
that's a
lot
sweet
of,
spot.
That's a nice. I love that spot for R&B.
You can get. I feel like any record that's written well between like 95 to 105, it's gonna go.
yeah, that's the place to be.
Yeah.
Also, as DJs, I
we giving away
appreciate
cheat
that.
codes right now.
I'm giving. That's a
Do we
cheat
have one of
code.
those? Do we have one of those?
Yeah, but you guys have any 95?
Yeah,
Why
we
didn't we
do.
do that on the album?
Take it slow.
I'll take it slow.
Take it slow. R&B cheat codes with 1985.
Yeah.
What chords are some of your favorite chords in the R&B?
I won't say favorite chords, but I'll say favorite feelings.
Okay.
I like things that are sad but make you feel good. Like "Hold On, We're Going Home" feels like a song that you can like cry and still be happy to in the club at the same time.
Okay.
Something about that makes people connect to music differently. When it feels good, but it doesn't really feel good.
And what note is it in? What is it in?
It's normally something that's minor, you know. So it's not a specific note or a specific like progression, but it just needs to feel. It needs to feel like that scene in the movie that's like an amazing scene, but is not the happiest scene.
Right.
But it's funny. I heard a podcast recently breaking down chords and feeling, and there are like actual codes. Like
yeah.
you go,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go this, it feels sad.
like that, yeah.
You want to go up, you know what I mean? And hold on, we're
Is
going
it
home.
B
You're right.
minor? Is the one that's like the? Is that what?
I think I've heard something about that.
I don't
but
know.
I don't do it.
I feel
that
like I heard
specific.
some real high end frequency dudes talking about B minor
Yeah.
and something like that.
I'm not
before.
that specific. I'm more feeling based.
Right.
If it feels sad, but you can still feel good at the same time, it always feels like people can connect to it in different ways.
What's the favorite record you produced?
In life,
In just not in life, just a top favorite that we would have no idea that you produced.
Tricks on Me, Future.
What's the saddest song you ever produced that we would know?
The saddest song. Is Too Much by Drake a sad song?
Not really.
Not really. Saddish.
I can't even think of like
Hallucinations, man.
What song makes you the most money?
what song makes me the most money.
Yeah, like when you go to the mailbox, those publishing checks.
One Dance for sure.
One Dance, crazy.
You think?
One Dance is ringing.
One dance is.
There's a good one.
Yeah.
That one's all right.
I mean, it ain't Hold On, We're Going Home, but it's a joint. It's definitely. One Dance was big, though.
Biggest song you ever wrote. That's not a division song.
Oh, I can't even. Have I written anything?
Chris
that's gone
Brown?
big? Oh, I guess a Chris Brown record. I'm trying to think if there's something else that people would actually know. You guys wouldn't even know, probably wouldn't even know the Chris Brown record. It's a song called Paradise. And it was, you know, when he was working with Benny Benassi? So after Beautiful People, they went back and doubled back a few years later and made a song that I wrote called Paradise, but they only released it really over there.
Like a Europe
so
song.
it's over in Europe.
It's funny. I liked
It
Chris in
did
that
well.
space, too.
Beautiful People.
Beautiful
was
People.
I love that
amazing.
song.
That's
I
one of his
love that
best
song.
I
records.
always thought it was a sleeper.
How excited, speaking of a record like Beautiful People, how happy, we'll start with you, Daniel, how happy are you that the house dance, 125 BPM, Drake putting out his album, Beyonce, how happy are you guys to hear that sound be out in the spaces again?
I love it.
Popular, so mainstream spaces, because it's always there, but
I love it because we don't do it. And so I love the fact that it allows this space for them
guys.
for them to be like, okay, cool, we own this music, and it creates now there's differences in the kind of R&B you can get, in the kind of music you can feel, and they did it so well that it's like, okay, cool, people feel served over here. So now where are they not served?
You can serve what you guys
So
serve.
that's really how I looked at it, to be honest with you.
what about you?
I like it just because I feel like music has been getting boring. Things have been so similar for the last few years. Like every artist is interchangeable. Like you can take any artist and give a song of their catalog to someone else, and it doesn't really make a difference.
Especially
But,
in rap.
yeah, rap, R&B. There's just like so much of the same thing is happening. I feel like this is the first time in a while where people are being forced to like step into their decision.
Right.
Like, oh, you want to do that? Go own it. You want to do house? Don't do a record. Do like a full album. Give us 10 of those. You know, like really, you know what I mean? Like really stand behind it. We'll see where we hit this space where everybody's doing everything. Everybody has an Afrobeat record. Everybody had a reggae record. Everybody has the rap song record. Everybody like that's every artist. Where before it was just kind of like,
I
oh,
do
this
this.
person does this.
Yeah.
They do that. You know? So I think it's a good space for the growth of where music's at again.
I love it. Well, we love y'all. I personally love both of y'all, and thank you for always
Fun combo,
supporting
man.
us, man. And let's get into the record that people love to hate.
Oh wow. Okay.
You gotta play
Hey,
that.
listen, the cheaters are here. You got to play the
You know what I'm
classics.
saying? I'm trying to run from it now, bro.
The cheaters are in the building.
You wrote the song, bro.
Yeah, right. Let's get it.
And then let's play something else that you think people are missing on the album,
Cool,
on this
let's
new
do it.
division. Give us a record. What should we play? Something that's being overshadowed maybe by the Toxic joint.
Do we just give them what's up?
That's the Jagged Edge one, right?
Right.
A lot of people don't know Jagged Edge is on this album.
That sounds like a good way to go.
Yeah, and we made the videos.
Come to the mic a little closer.
Sorry, we made the videos correspond. So if you ever watch the whole "If I Get Caught" video, the video that we did for "What's Up with Jagged Edge" kind of like picks up right where that left off. So
Got it.
yeah, sure, you can run that.
Let's play it.
All right, go
Division.
Thank you,
One time.
guys.
Thank you guys for
Appreciate
coming by
you.
the show. Thank you very much. Dope.